My house helper was washing dishes in the kitchen and I was preparing lunch. She had just come back from the market, and as I was preparing beans, I asked her, Dada, sister, how do you prepare your beans? Mind you, she had gotten the wrong beans that I had requested from the market. I requested fresh beans, which are a delight that my family and I usually take part in. If you've never had them, I definitely encourage you to try some fresh beans. Um, but yeah, so she got the dry beans. And I asked her, I said, Dada, how do you typically cook your beans? Not that I ordinarily don't know how to cook beans, but one of the things that I find so much joy in is learning new recipes and asking different people of different cultures, what do they season their food with? How do they cook something? To learn different nicks and knacks of how to perfect or improve or simply just try something new. So, to my expected surprise, anticipating some new miraculous idea, she shares with me that she uses Magadi. And I said, Magadi? That sounds familiar. Magadi, I looked at my pantry or my spice rack and I said, this is Magadi. And she said, yes. So I remembered that I had previously purchased Magadi from another Dada at the market, another sister at the market who recommended it. And I had it sitting in on my spice rack for quite some time. So I went on to ask 101 questions. How do you use it? What does it do? Where is it from? And she answered each question one by one. I was overjoyed. I went down the rabbit hole of discovering what is Magadi. So what I came to find was that Magadi is simply a mineral that comes from Trone. And Magadi comes from Lake Magadi in Kenya. It is an alkaline hot spring lake that is very unique in the fact that it is a hot spring lake that, due to the condition and the location, sometimes dries up and sulfur ash comes to the top of the surface and is mined. And that sulfur ash is collected and used. The lake itself is very deadly to man and animals, or can be for long extended periods of time. And so it's enjoyed by the few that know that, it exists and the rules they have to follow. Simply being that you can only be in the water for a certain period of time, or the hot spring for a certain period of time. And it's known for its healing properties of the skin and the bones. If you've got eczema or psoriasis or any of the skin conditions, it is known to be soothing or healing in that way. But also arthritis and any kind of bone issues. So it's known by the Maasai in that region and many of the other tribes familiar to that area. But I was fascinated. And so she begins to tell me, my dada, that Magadi is used as a tenderizer. It's used for meat. It's used for beans. It's used for cooking tough greens like sakuma or collard greens, mustard greens. Also, cassava leaves or any other tough type of food. So I, again, was just fascinated and exciting. So I pull out my Magadi and I ask her, well, how much do I use? And she emphasizes to me just a pinch. And shortly after, I had a fresh batch of dried beans. And by dried, I mean that they weren't fresh. So they needed the Magadi to tenderize. And my beans cooked in no time. So that is simply a story that brings me so much joy simply because it's a reminder of how the people right next to us or in our vicinity have some piece of wisdom, knowledge, or understanding that we ourselves can gain from, or we together can gain the opportunity of sharing or exchanging of wisdom and the affirming opportunity to increase someone else. And so I just wanted to share that with you because also it's a reminder of the mineral rich lands, the resources that we have here on the land and within the land on the continent of Africa. And it's just such an inspiration. And so wherever you are in the world, I encourage you to find out a recipe, find out a useful way to incorporate the plants, the foods, the minerals of the land into your everyday life, just like the Most High intended. Thank you for listening. Again, this is Sarah Singer, and you are listening to Leta Stori. Have an amazing day. Make an amazing day.